Hey, everybody. Welcome to the MMOA podcast. I'm Macy Bolt, outpatient TA and outpatient PT and TA with the older adult division of ICE Physio. Today, we are going to be talking about curiosity and the importance of building a relationship with your patient for a successful plan of care. One of my favorite shows of all time is Ted Lasso. I truly think there's no more lovable character on all of television. And one of my very favorite episodes is season 1, episode 8. In this episode, Ted is playing darts against an arrogant higher up in the world of soccer who is underestimating Ted's ability to play. As it turns out, Ted has practiced darts all of his life and ends up whooping the bully in the game that they're playing. At the end of the game, Ted goes on to make a very heartfelt speech about the power of curiosity in the context of the Walt Whitman quote, "Be curious, not judgmental." It's one of my favorite quotes. And I really think that that quote translates a lot to what we do. It's really kind of a crucial piece of what we have to offer our patients as healthcare providers and as providers of any kind. So, the ability to be genuinely curious about the person in front of you when you meet a new patient is invaluable in developing a positive patient therapist relationship. And I think that it's something that is so lacking in today's healthcare. Um, because we've become kind of this sick care society, and the ability to get as many patients in as possible has taken away some of the human component of what we do, and that is really a shame in my opinion. When I was a newbie PT, I really thought that the most important thing that I could do in an evaluation is do as much testing as possible to be able to develop my plan of care. That has completely flipped itself on its head in my practice, and now I think the most important thing that I can do is genuinely spend that visit getting to know my patient. Of course, I still have to do tests and measures, but my subjective part of my examination is so much more robust than it was when I was first starting out. Um, Really, if I can get to know who the person is, what their goals are, what their life looks like, and where their current limitations are, I can develop a great plan of care for that person because I'm going to know what they want to do. Since really shifting this in my practice, I personally feel so much more fulfilled in what I'm doing. And I find that my patients are so much more invested in PT as well, because not only am I listening, but we're developing that plan together rather than me being another provider who's kind of, checking the box, getting the bullet points of what's going on, and then telling them what to do and how to fix it. We really are kind of a team in it. And I think that that's so valuable. This can, of course, be easier said than done, and it takes a lot of practice asking more and more questions in a tactful way and not being, the toddler who's just saying, "Why? Why? Why?" Um, but we really have to get to that root of the patient's goals. So this is kind of where that non-judgmental piece comes in. I have found time and time again, especially when I'm asking about, like, more of those the softer pieces of what we do in therapy, the lifestyle pieces, the nutrition pieces, the exercise pieces. A lot of my patients get this kind of like look of shame, and honestly, sometimes like physically shrink in their chairs when we think about kind of what those pillars mean in their lives. I really believe that this is our biggest opportunity to open doors for people, and it really can go so wrong if we approach it the wrong way. If we approach these sensitive subjects with genuine curiosity and not with an air of judgment or "I know more than you," we can really build a rapport with these folks where they will open up and talk to us about these things. I have a patient in mind. She is a lifelong smoker. She has smoked for 65 years, multiple packs a day, and she is in conversation with neurosurgery about a potential procedure upcoming. So one of the things she and I were talking about while we were, over the course of our rehab is, what does it look like to quit smoking? Because the neurosurgeon told her he wouldn't touch her unless she quit smoking. And so each visit we check in on how has smoking been going, how has stopping smoking been going, and what does that look like? Are there things that we need to work on as other stress management techniques so that we can help her get to her eventual goal? Those are conversations that, 5 years ago, I would not have been comfortable having with people because I would have felt like I was nagging them as another provider who is, spewing the same information. However, with genuine curiosity, I now understand that she smoked more last week because it was the anniversary of her daughter's death. And that was a really hard, stressful week for her. And she opened up to me about that because we have had genuinely meaningful conversations about how this fits into her life. So, thinking about how we actually implement this, when it comes to kind of those more typical goals for PT, I really love to use the patient specific functional scale in order to help me dig in with my patients. So we've really, really got to learn more about our people than just, oh, I can't do the stairs because my knee hurts. What is it about the stairs that you care about? You don't just care about the stairs because you have to do them. Is it that your laundry is in the basement and your daughter is trying to get you to move out of your house and you don't want your daughter to be able to say, "Oh, well, you can't do the stairs anymore, so you can't live in this house anymore"? Or is it that you need to be able to carry your dog food from the garage into the house and you're concerned that if you can't do that, then you will have to get rid of your beloved dog? These are the things that matter. And these are the things that we have to really dig in and find out about our patients. And if we don't ask follow up questions, we will never get to know these things and build these relationships with people. So, one final note about kind of the soft skill piece of this is that when you learn meaningful things about your patients, you need to write them down. We all in the moment think, wow, that was an interesting tidbit. And then we move on with our day and we see, 10 more people, 20 more people sometimes, and we lose that little tidbit. In my EMR, I'm able to make myself a virtual sticky note that only I can see. It is not available to anyone but me. When I open the patient's chart, that sticky note pops up and I can write whatever I want in there. What I have started doing is I write down the most random things about my patients in that space, like the names of their grandchildren, where they grew up, what their college major was, what their dog's name is. One time I wrote down that my patient had 2 pet skunks, and that was a good reminder to me of who was coming in when I opened up that chart. These are the details that when you bring those things up in subsequent visits, you will stand apart from other providers and your patient will feel so heard, so cared for, and they will know that you actually give a crap about the things that you guys are talking about. So, to wrap this all up, I think Walt Whitman and Ted Lasso said it best when he said, "Be curious, not judgmental." And this can really apply to so many areas of our practice and our lives. Also, if you have not yet seen Ted Lasso, I can't recommend it enough. If you want to get more hands on practice with how to optimize your care of your older adult patients and patients in general, join us at an upcoming MMOA live course. On September 27th and 28th, we will be in Burlington, New Jersey, and Scottsdale, Arizona. October 18th and 19th, we will be in Salt Lake City. November 8th and 9th, we'll be in Oviedo, Florida. And November 15th and 16th, we will be in Lexington, Kentucky. Thanks for joining me today.